And welcome to Impact for another week. Russell Thomas in the studio with Lauren Toews from the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Good morning.
Good morning, Russell.
Thank you for coming in. And you just got back from somewhere, you said.
I was just in Vancouver for the Easter
what
weekend.
A terrible place to be.
It was horrible.
Yeah. Was it
Horrible
like
views.
snowing there or what?
No, rain and sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know that they've had a tough winter out in BC.
They've gotten some snow for sure this winter.
My in-laws had just been in Victoria and they were unhappy, the Victorians, about the lack of progress with the flowers. But did you see a few flowers out there?
Oh yeah, tulips were definitely in bloom.
Marvelous.
We were there for a great season. It was cherry blossoms, so the trees were beautiful and
nice.
Yeah.
You've been in your new role, you're the program coordinator with the MS Society for how long now?
Since the end of January. So carry the one, I think 3 months, 2 months.
You're really new. But before that, you were in a similar role with the Alzheimer's Society. And I was sharing with you off the air that in a way they're very similar things in the sense that they're conditions that tend to get worse over time. Mm-hmm. And are there similarities in terms of working with people in the both spheres? Yeah,
so like you said, they do progress, but things that I've kind of learned in both my roles is that each client is different. Everyone, when it came to dementia, when it comes to MS, everyone has a different story, a different journey through it, and they're both tough, like on your life, on family, but really it's been encouraging to see the quality of life people have gotten through different societies, but also their own personal journey that they've persevered and still enjoy the things they do, and yeah.
So what is your role as a program coordinator in that?
Yeah, so I have two roles. I do the clients and program services side, and then I also do the fundraising side. So with programs and services, we do support groups, we do wellness programs. I can meet one-on-one, give informational sessions, help someone get resources. Advocacy is a big one too. If anyone comes to me with an issue that they're facing, I can help advocate on their behalf. And then my other side is fundraising. So right now we have the walk coming up May 5th, 2017, and that will be at Sny Point Park. And then we have a Boston Pizza kickoff for that, so I do fundraising for that. And yeah, we have Burgers to Beat MS in August, so doing both sides.
Your walk's just a few days after the anniversary.
Yes,
yeah.
2 days after.
Yeah. I imagine that, let's say somebody who...
the Boston Pizza fundraiser is May 5th, so but the walk is May 27th.
Gotcha. Okay. Backing up. I imagine that if someone is diagnosed with MS, that they meet with their doctor, they get the diagnosis. Are you one of the first people they suggest you may want to contact for some support, or does it happen organically?
I would say it happens organically from what I'm aware of, and I know with MS and speaking to clients, it takes a long time to be diagnosed, and living in Fort McMurray, not having a neurologist in Fort McMurray, to travel to Edmonton, and you have to have 2 reoccurring symptoms. So they say it normally takes about 2 years to be diagnosed. So some people may look into the society beforehand, looking for some resources or answers, and yeah, we've had a lot of newly diagnosed clients who probably mid-fall of last year reach out this year. So
does it hit people of a certain age, a certain gender, or is it really anybody?
Anybody, yeah.
Yeah. We know a lot of people in our world that have MS that, I won't name names, but people that are well-known people.
Oh, yeah.
And live very well with MS.
Yeah, the hockey player, I forget his name, had just come out with it, or a video had come out. He played for Chicago Blackhawks, won 3 Stanley Cups, and then all of a sudden his skill just kind of started shifting, and they thought it was vertigo, and he was diagnosed with a few different things. And him and his family just shared that frustration of not knowing. And so he thought it was physical, and then they thought it was mental, and he just didn't know why. And he ended up being traded to kind of, I think it was like the AHL, and then finally he was diagnosed with MS, and they could treat his symptoms, and he was able to kind of get back to how he used to be, but yeah.
In your short time in the role, have you actually participated in some of the group sessions?
Yeah, so I run the support groups, And then, yeah, I'm the only employee, so when clients come in, I get to be with them. And I think that's the most rewarding part of the job. Not even rewarding, just encouraging, like to hear everyone's story. And we do peer support as well. So if you have MS, we can connect you with someone who may be in a similar point. And you two can support each other over the phone. And we have people from Alberta calling people in Ontario, and you just have that support, that one-on-one support.
Sorry for coughing. I'm dealing with a bad cold, and so I had Karina turn down my volume just so I didn't rip people's ears to shreds. Well, it's exciting that you've managed to take all of that experience and knowledge that you gained through the Alzheimer's Society and transition into a new role. My guest this morning is Lauren Toews, who works out of the Red Pole Center with us. And she is the program coordinator with the MS Society of Canada, certainly the Fort McMurray programs associated with that. You're listening to Impact right here on 91.1 The Bridge. Welcome back to Impact. Our guest this morning, Lauren Toews with the MS Society, and just back from Vancouver for Easter long weekend. I don't know where spring went because it was cold coming here this morning.
I know. I left before I left. I think I was walking the Birchwood trails in a t-shirt, and now I came back and snow on the ground. Park is back out,
and that river is still intact-ish.
Yeah, has it broken up at all?
No, and I saw that it looked like the Clearwater had gone over the weekend, but yeah, that ice is still sitting right there in the middle. But you know, the longer that goes, it'll eventually dissolve away, and we'll be into full-blown spring. So you just got to be patient, I guess. Yeah. So you're originally not from here. You're from Winnipeg. I
am from Winnipeg.
So tell us about growing up in Winnipeg.
Growing up in Winnipeg, I had a great childhood, I guess I could say. I spent a lot of my summers at West Hawk.
So, what's that?
So West Hawk is a lake in the White Shell in Manitoba, and it's a beautiful area, and it borders Ontario, kind of going into Lake of the Woods. And yeah, it's just beautiful water, and the lake was actually created by a meteor. So it's one of the deepest lakes in Manitoba, and then it's one of the coldest. So I spent a lot of summers out there. I was really athletic, playing soccer and volleyball, and I have a really big Ukrainian and German family, so always surrounded by family and cousins and food.
Do you speak any Ukrainian? Дуже добре?
Yes.
That's about it, eh?
Yeah.
And holopshi and so what did your parents do?
So my mom is a special ed teacher, and my dad is the manager of an insurance company.
So maybe a little bit from your mom in terms of where you've ended up in your life, in terms of being interested in helping people.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was dual from my dad as well. Insurance isn't always a person-focused role, but he's always encouraged me and my sister to always really hear people out and listen to their story. And yeah, definitely from my mom's side, my mom's always had a talent and a desire to help people living with who she's taught in special ed. And yeah, they're both very passionate about helping people, and yeah.
Did you always think you'd end up in the social profit field?
I didn't. So I went to school for business and then communications and media. So I really thought I was going to do more of a marketing route.
More what I do.
Pardon?
More what I do.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I really enjoyed schooling. That's what I thought. And then in my last year, I'd taken a not-for-profit course. And even taking the course, like, it was really interesting learning about it, but I never really thought, like, oh, that's the route I want to go. But just the way it's kind of lined up, I've come into both roles, and yeah.
So tell me how that happened. Did you end up right from Winnipeg to Fort McMurray, or was there someplace in between?
My second year of university, I came up to Fort McMurray to work the summers. So I did that for 3 summers, and then I fell in love with Fort McMurray and really enjoyed it. And I became home really quickly, so I moved up here after I graduated, and then I've been up here over 2 years now, full-time. And
practically forever.
Yeah.
What do your parents think about the professional path that you've taken, out of curiosity?
Professional, yeah, I hope they're proud of me. But yeah, especially moving to Fort McMurray, like, I remember my dad, I didn't have a car at the time when I was in university to move here. And we were looking on Kijiji, and he's like, well, can't you just get a bike? Like, isn't it just one main road? And now that he comes up here, it's always just kind of the joke, like, good thing I didn't come up here with that one bike, because I'd probably still be at the bottom of Beacon Hill or something trying to get around. But yeah, they both have flown up to Fort McMurray and spent time here and have seen my roles, and yeah, they really enjoy it.
You started with Alzheimer's Society and with us at the Red Pole Center, and so I watched you, and you were kind of, at the very beginning, were quite shy and kept to yourself. But over time, I've observed that you have connected with a lot of people. What has it been like for you personally, being in a nonprofit shared space center and connecting to others?
It's been incredible, and it definitely, like you said, I was shy coming into it, but it has brought me out of my shell. But also for my, in my role, it's been amazing. You can just go into someone's office and connect. We've applied for grants just from kind of popping your head up over a cubicle, being like, does anyone have suggestions on this? And it just brings you together more than an email or a phone call. Like, you never really have to set up too much. And I've learned a lot from sitting next to someone who's with a different agency, and you're kind of like, what do you do for volunteers? Or just stories that they share about clients. The Red Pole Center becomes just like a little family, and I'm sure you feel the same, Russell. Everyone, you get to know them personally, and then on a work basis, and yeah. And now with my new role, I'm actually inside the Red Pole Center, and I found that's made a big difference. But
to explain that, before you were across the hall in the Red Pole Center, but on the other side of the hallway.
Yeah. And I kind of hid behind my door sometimes, but I really have enjoyed coming into it, and just the support from everyone, and everyone stops by to ask how you're doing and introduces himself. And
I think it's fascinating how there's a number of organizations in the Red Pole Center that have these very, they have similar mandates, and they end up finding a lot of common ground. Can you give a couple of examples of other organizations that you're working with?
Yeah, so spinal cord injury, definitely a big one that we're able to advocate together, because a lot of our clients may face the same accessibility issues, and just being able to combine that together. St. Aidan's, when I was with the Alzheimer's Society, it was a huge one, and they've really helped connect me to AHS, and I had worked with Carolyn Avancio on a seniors walk program. And I know you know Carolyn, and she's just incredible. She's one of my biggest mentors in Fort McMurray, and just being able to connect with the Golden Years Society in that role, and I just found I knew a lot more understanding of the community after both roles, and
It's a really good thing. I have to ask, your primary role now is multiple sclerosis. Any sense of how common is it? Like, how many people in Fort McMurray, roughly, that you are aware of are dealing with some level of multiple sclerosis?
It's hard to tell from my standpoint right now, but I would say between 60 and 100. And what's pretty big is that Canada's the #1 country to have MS, if that's the right way to put it.
We have the highest percentage. Wow.
And it's like not even close compared to anywhere else in the world.
Do you think it has something to do with the poutine, or what do you think it is?
Well, I think too, I may be wrong on this, but I think Saskatchewan is like the biggest province, or maybe Alberta, that has MS. And so I'm sure it's something that research is going into.
That would suggest that. Or perhaps lifestyle, you never know.
But compared to Canada, like, no one comes close outside of like the world.
Well, I imagine a lot of people have no idea really what multiple sclerosis is about, and how you treat it, and how you live with it, and those kind of things. So why don't we take a break, come back, and talk a little bit about that, just to shed some light on that. Because if people can better understand it, they can be more understanding of people that are walking that path of living with multiple sclerosis. My guest this morning is Lauren Toews from the MS Society of Canada, based out of the Red Pole Center. And you're listening to Impact. And by the way, big thanks to Hannah Fridhead for filling in for me aptly last week. She did a great job, and really do appreciate that. And also appreciate our partners who make this happen, our friends at Fuse Social, Shaw TV, Fort McMurray, and right here, our friends at 91.1 The Bridge. Welcome back to Impact. I'm Russell Thomas, and joined today by Lauren Toews from the MS Society of Canada. By the way, we're always looking for guests to join us on Impact. And I know I'm looking ahead to May, and I have a few holes in my calendar. And this is an opportunity, Lauren, to talk to people one-on-one that are making an impact on the community at various levels. In your case, you're what I would call a frontline life changer. And you're a leader. In other cases, they're volunteers.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're executive directors. But if you know somebody that has a great story that deserves to be told and shared, it will inspire others. And all you got to do is get in touch with me at the United Way, give me a phone call, or send me an email. And Lauren, thank you very much for coming in. And right off the heels, did you just land this morning, did you say?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you're jet lagged at all?
No,
okay.
The 1 hour time change was okay to get over.
Awesome. So we were talking before in our previous segment about MS, and what do people really know about it? The average Joe person. And what can you, if you were giving us the elevator pitch for what is MS, and how do people live with it? How does it manifest itself? What would you tell us?
So MS directly stands for multiple scars, and that normally occurs on the spine. So it will kind of block the connection between your nerves and then your brain connecting. So sometimes that's where people can find the numbing, the loss of limbs, but it also can be lesions on the brain. It can show up as tumors in the brain or kind of spots on the brain that are blocking how it connects with your body. And being new to the role, I'm learning every day. Like, it's different for everyone, especially, and like we were talking off air, like some clients it's a physical, some clients it's cognitive disability, and yeah, it's really different for every person.
So when they're trying to make the firm diagnosis, which is always difficult, you say scars. Does a scar from MS look different than other kinds of scars, or is that part of the problem, is that it may look like one kind of scar, but...
Yeah, I think the term like multiple too is what comes into it, and especially when they look on lesions for the brain, like it's more than one they want to kind of see. But what makes it hard to diagnose MS is you normally have to have two reoccurring, I don't know,
symptoms,
kind of reactions to it, and so it takes a while to diagnose, which can be really hard for someone. Just kind of being in between and not knowing how to treat it, and
Now I know you've only been with the organization a couple of months, but have you had in that short time the opportunity to engage with somebody who just recently had a firm diagnosis?
Yes.
And what is that? How do they react to that?
The one I can think of too a lot is probably fear of the unknown and not knowing. Because it changes how you work. It may change how your lifestyle, like schedule was before, right at first. And so I'd say fear may be the first thing that someone experiences, but connecting with the society and just getting to meet other people who have now had it for 19 years, 25 years, like 5 years, a lot of them have shared that the quality of life is still there, that they can still do the things they love. And you don't lose who you are, like even though it's affecting your life. A lot of people are just inspiring that they just don't let it control what they want to do and who they are. And I think too with new clients, we have a lot of them coming to the walk and coming to our kickoff and support groups, and that changes a lot when you can look around. And we have a great video on our website about people when they were first diagnosed, what they thought. And I think that's great for someone to be able to be like, hey, that person was really scared, that person didn't know anything about MS, and now 5, 15, 20 years later, they're living like high quality of life, and
You were referencing the NHL hockey player whose name I can't remember because I'm not a hockey fan. But there's also a couple of very high-profile people in Fort McMurray that live with MS very successfully, and they're very open and transparent about it. So I'm sure that's very powerful for people when they can see others and just being able to connect with them.
Totally. Like, and it's so just, I keep saying inspiring, but it really is, and they just don't let it control their life, and
So you are one person. Yes. You are one of these one-person organizations in Fort McMurray, and I know you have a great board and volunteers and that kind of thing. But I want to better understand I imagine because there's so multiple ways that MS will manifest itself, you must have a tremendous support structure provincially and nationally.
Incredible.
Talk about that.
Oh, they're amazing. So I report to 2 people in Edmonton, and I was actually flown down to Edmonton for my training when I had first started. This is a bit embarrassing, but for a while I didn't even know who my boss was or who I reported to, because I had met with 9 to 10 people and everyone said the exact same thing. They were there to support me. Any questions, like they had taught me so much in 2 days. And the biggest thing is they say support, and to not reinvent the wheel, that we're here to like help you and again support you. And so being here, and before I went on vacation actually, I was kind of sitting at my desk thinking about it, like it makes my position incredible, and it helps me being able, when I had that new client come in and I may not have all the answers for her, I can call, email, Skype one of my directors, and instantly they'll be like, this is what you can do, here's what I've learned in the past. And they're just a source of knowledge and wisdom, and they're so compassionate, so kind, and yeah, it's an incredible society and organization to work for, and that's like provincial, national, it's just, yeah.
Recognizing that you actually had training in marketing and communication, and that you theoretically could be the Sean Spicer of the White House, but you're working in the social profit sector. What has been the greatest joy of it?
Definitely connecting with people, with clients, with families. I've had the opportunity to host a support group for caregivers. And even if your day is tough and you're realizing, like, how am I going to get everything done? A 1-minute phone call with a client or a 1-minute phone call with a caregiver, or just a story changes your day, changes your week, and it really makes it worth it. But it's almost like an honor. Like, I'm so thankful to be in a job that I love and can feel inspired by daily, and that I feel a purpose in. So I just feel very, yeah.
Does it feel like you're making an impact?
Personally, sometimes I don't think I am, and that's may like just be self-doubt, but you never really know. But then sometimes someone will give you an uplifting word or encouragement and be like, a few weeks ago I was, yeah. When some people kind of share with what you've impacted them on, but yeah. I don't see myself as that, but.
Right. Well, I'm sure that I am sure that you are making an impact, and I'm sure that you're a United Way funded agency as well, MS Society, and I'm sure that support makes an impact as well. And where do you see this going for you? Out of curiosity, like.
Well, when I was in my role with the Alzheimer's Society, I didn't know kind of where my next step was, and then when this opportunity presented itself, it will definitely be one I think I'll always kind of stay in, because it would be very hard to leave such a person-focused career, and that's been my biggest joy about it. So I couldn't really picture myself leaving for a position where I don't have that one-on-one connection with the community. But
you said a couple of times early on in the interview that you love Fort McMurray.
I do.
You're originally from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say anything disparaging about Winnipeg, but tell me why you love Fort McMurray.
The trees, the people, just the community, and before the fire and even after the fire, and being like, I knew one person moving up here, and now I feel like I have family around me, community, and with my job I've been able to learn so much about what's going on in the city and in northern regions, and I just really enjoy the nature and how it's so close that I can just walk out my front door or drive like a few minutes and be at a lake or be on the Birchwood trails, or just, I love being outside, so I really enjoy Fort McMurray. And even just driving over the bridge, like being from Winnipeg, we don't have a lot of elevation. So just even when I came here, I'd be like, look at all the mountains, and then everyone from BC is like, oh no, those are hills, but I still think it's beautiful.
Well, I'm going to have to get you over to the studio one of these days to help you get over your fear of ravens, because my raven is very friendly. And
Fort McMurray ravens are wild.
No. We'll differ on that. Thank you so much for coming in, by the way.
Thank you so much for having me, Russell.
Continue the great work. I know you're only a couple of months in, but you're in a great role and an important role. And the work of the MS Society is very valued in our community, so keep it up.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Impact. My guest has been Lauren Toews with the MS Society of Canada. She is the program coordinator, and you've been listening to Impact. It's a collaboration of United Way, Fuse Social, Shaw TV, Fort McMurray, who make us look so good. Well, make Lauren look good. And also our friends right here at 91.1 The Bridge.